Hey everybody, it's Mike, a digitalnomad.net, and we are at a great inflection point, a great turning point in the electrical vehicle or the automotive industry in general, which is June 2023. It's very late June, and a lot of developments have happened. And I'm going to talk about the stuff right behind me over here with my phone in my hand in case I don't forget anything. I don't want to, I got some notes as always. But this is, I'm so excited. I feel like this is almost like summer of 2020. You guys remember that? It was right after the lockdown started, and all the electrical vehicle stocks just exploded at that point in time. That was like the big tipping point from ICE vehicles to electric vehicles. And if you didn't pay attention, if you're just kind of now getting into it, well, that's when it started. And something you may not know is there have basically there's been some confusion and some disappointment and some anger, I'd say, with what's been going on with the charging standards behind me. So that's what I've got behind me. I own a Tesla. So over my left shoulder here, right to you, is the Tesla connector. This is kind of like a size comparison of what the Tesla connector looks like. And I use that. Anybody who has Tesla almost exclusively uses the superchargers. And when you plug it in, you're like this is what you're looking at. If you turn the plug and look at it, it looks just like this up here. So what's the deal? I mean, that's a Tesla plug, right? But guess what? Over here, this massive thing. Okay, look at the size of this thing. This is what they call the CCS connector, and it's the standard that was passed by whoever group decides that. I think it was done eventually through the SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, or SAE International, whatever they go by now. And believe it or not, this was chosen years ago as a standard plug, like the thing you plug in. So if you got to hold this thing, like Tesla's a little cable, like a little lamp cord. This is like a fire hose. Okay, when you go over there, it's bulky, it's cumbersome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you probably know my Tesla got in an accident. Denise and I were in the car, and we got in 2 high-speed accidents. It needed some repairs. So last summer was when most of those repairs took place, and we had a Polestar. And of course, Polestar doesn't have this Tesla connector on it to charge, and we don't own a charger at our condo or our house. So we had to go out and charge and use these things to charge it. Okay. The middle one is actually Chatamo, and you can just forget about that unless you own a Nissan Leaf, because for some reason, even though they redesigned the car, they still have Chatamo and nobody even uses that anymore. They're going to phase that out, almost guaranteed. Now, there was a rivalry. This was almost like, VHS and Betamax, I guess. I'm calling this Betamax if you remember back the 80s and 90s, because Beta lost. And that's basically what's happened. That's a short story here. This was not picked as a standard, but it's so much better. I mean, look at it, especially if you're used to gas pumps, right? There's a standard on gas pumps, and they make those nozzles as, I guess, as small as they can, but they all fit. And in this case, if you had a car that had this connector, you could not go to the Tesla superchargers, even though Elon and Tesla had always said you can use our supercharger networks. What's happened recently, again, I'm trying to shorten this, compress it, is that some of the big automakers have decided we're not going to use this thing anymore on our cars. In fact, we're not even going to include these plugs anymore on our cars. We're just going to do this, which is what they should have done in the beginning, because it's so easy to use. And also, if you've ever been to a Tesla supercharger stall, you know there's no digital display or anything. Everything's done in the car. So it's just basically a holder for a cable. And it's so simple. And this thing not only is complex, cumbersome, unwieldy, but it also has all this computer stuff that can go wrong over at the stalls. All kinds of things go wrong. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out Denise's and I's videos from last summer of 2022 when we had the Polestar for 2 different times for like a month or 2 at a time. And man, it was a nightmare. I use the Electrify America network, which uses these standards, these cables, this CCS, and it was a nightmare. I cannot believe it took another year from me putting those videos out and basically describing the difference, because if you don't know about me and my history, a digital nomad, Mike Young, I have never had an at-home charger. I've always relied on this network. And not only is this cable design better, but they always work, it seems like. I mean, I probably had this many experiences when they didn't work. 5 out of 3,000 times I've supercharged on my Tesla. And by the way, it's original battery pack, original motors. And by the way, join Tesla High Mileage Club at teslahighmileageclub.com. Just go there, join our club. It's awesome. I mean, we're dispelling all the myths too about how awful electric vehicles are in terms of their longevity and reliability and things like that. So appreciate it if you would go join if you're interested in that. The other things, the link's down below too in the description. let me tell you what's happened recently. This is why I'm putting this video out. This is why this is so important. Um, Basically, the automakers have started switching. A couple weeks ago, it was General Motors saying, guess what? We're not doing this one anymore. We're doing this one. And then shortly after that, it was Ford, which was awesome. Not doing this one, doing this one. And then I think what it was, Rivian. Okay, electric car maker. We got a great group on Rivian, by the way. Rivian Electric Vehicles Discussions. Join that. The link is also down below. When I click on that, Rivian went from this, which was a nightmare. Everything was great about Rivian except for the damn charging experience, okay? Especially if you don't have something at home or if you're taking a trip. But now they got this, which is awesome, which means I can use all the superchargers. Oh, and now Volvo has now announced this week that they are going to switch over. So everybody else is going to switch over. You know it, because they can't make a competitive product. No one wants to deal with the frustration that Denise and I dealt with last summer. It's just not worth it. It's not even worth getting a car if you have to go long distance. Now, any electric vehicle will do just fine if you're going very short distances and only locally. You don't even need to fast charge it. You can just slow charge it. You can get a Nissan Leaf or something else with older technology that doesn't even have conditioned battery packs. But this is going to be awesome. This is going to be a whole new experience for everybody. And I'm excited about it because it's just going to bring everything into a new era. And something else has happened this week. Is SAE International, I believe they're known as now. They used to be Society of Automotive Engineers. They are now developing and putting the fine tuning on the final standard for Tesla that will apply to everybody. Okay. Now this one, CCS, that's what they did before. But people, like I said, the experience has been horrible. People don't like them. It's just a bad. Look how bulky this damn thing is. This can be used so much better. So they're putting the fine tuning on the SAE is for that, and then everybody will be able to use it, and it'll be all good going forward. So that's kind of my announcement video. If you guys have some experiences of your own to share with what you've done with CCS charging, I'd love to hear some great experiences, I guess, because I don't think there are any out there. But Tesla, let me hear your experience about Tesla too. Another thing you guys got to realize is just because it's announcement made doesn't mean it's happening. It's going to be a long conversion process. Like Tesla a few years ago opened up their supercharging network to everybody, and it's taken this long to people to finally start making the announcements. And guess what? Just because they have cars that are capable of doing things with Tesla doesn't mean that they'll be able to use all the different Tesla stalls, because there are different versions. There's like version 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think we're 4s are what's going in now. And 4s actually have longer cables that work with any charge port in any location on any vehicle without blocking additional Tesla superchargers. And I made a video, I think, about that recently too. So it's another component of this. We're going to solve all the different issues. And let me think. I lost my train of thought up a little bit there, but I think I've covered all the bases. Oh, the charging experience. So basically, some folks may have to wait. There's different versions of the chargers. Your vehicle may only be compatible with certain versions. Like I'm guessing, like Tesla version 4 and above is what the other vehicles will be able to use, because they'll have to be kind of backwards compatible with whatever systems they have in these other GM cars or Ford cars or Rivians or whatnot. But the other thing is, I'm guessing they're going to phase out production of these. We don't even know. It's kind of a mystery at this point. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on that. And the other thing is that another detail is Tesla has a thing called the Magic Dock, which they've introduced at a few, where they can actually, I think they can plug has like a CSS thing of this and a Tesla or something like that. Let me know if you've used it, but it seems to me like that's going to be antiquated now. That was just kind of like a stopgap measure. Tesla was kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. And now we know everybody's going to move over to this thing, so we can just plug these little tiny lamp cords instead of a fire hose into your vehicle. This is going to be so much easier. So much easier. I mean, this is like exponentially less bulky than this design. You can see it right here, which is why I have this thing behind me. So look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much. Let me know if you're as excited as I am. Please give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. And also, please be a subscriber if you're not a subscriber already. We talk about all of these things that are related to the new digital lifestyle, and electric vehicles are part of that and this whole transition. And we're glad you're here with us. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.